Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 2438A, and today's date is March 28th, 2021, and the title of the episode is Central Bank Legal Immunity Strip, Nobody Escapes. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, what we're witnessing a battle between the private Western Central Bank and the Patriots. And we know moving forward, the Patriots, they need to bring down the private Western Central Bank. They need to bring the economy back into a people's economy. And the only way to do this is to expose their system, to show people what they're really trying to do, and let the people decide. And how do you do this? Well, first you make America great. You remove the globalist agenda as much as you possibly can in 4 years. Then you have them put it back to the way it was and take it to the next step, move it into the Great Reset. This way, people can see it very, very clearly. Now, we've talked about helicopter money, or they like to call it guaranteed income, and we know this was part of their plan. Remember, the pandemic was their only way out. They needed a cover story. Trump robbed them of a war. So now all they have left is the pandemic. But he also robbed them of that. Well, he introduced the vaccine much, much earlier than they ever expected. And now they're trapped. So what are you going to do? Are you going to stop your plan, or are you going to move forward? Well, he knew this. Patriots who are working with him knew it. They're going to move forward with their plan. And what does this do? It exposes everything. Now, look what's happening with helicopter money. We see Oregon, we see other states like California, cities like San Francisco. They're moving forward by giving people money for no reason. Now, once again, who's paying for this? Yes, we the people through taxes. But they're trying to usher this in. But people, they are noticing this. It's very, very clear. Now, in San Francisco, they're going to give artists $1,000 a month with no strings attached. Think about what's happening here. There's a battle going on between the private Western Central Bank. They want to usher in their Great Reset, and the Patriots are exposing their system. Now, remember, when Trump was president during his 4 years, he told the United Nations that the globalist agenda has come to an end. There is no future for the globalists. And with the pandemic, what happened? Well, the centralized supply chains, they were exposed to the world. Companies started to look at this model and they said, well, wait a minute. If something happens in this one area and all our plants are in this one area, what are we going to do? And this is why companies started to move out. Now, Trump is showing what happens in the Suez Canal. And Julian's Rum went back in time, looked up a tweet by Trump, and this is from May of 2020, and it says the following. At Real Donald Trump talks supply chains and why they should be completely in the United States. And you could see all the articles here from the Wall Street Journal, The Insider, and it says ship stuck in Suez Canal and chip shortages. What global supply chain problems mean for you? From The Insider, boat stuck at Suez Canal, latest setback in supply chain crisis. And it goes on and on. What he's doing right now is he's showing the world what it looks like when you have a globalist system and everything is centralized. Everything comes to a screeching halt. Now remember, this is not the only thing that's going on right now. He's also showing everyone what it's like to have an incredible economy, showing everyone what it's like when you remove regulations, when you renegotiate trade deals, when you build businesses back up. He's showing everyone what that feels like. People can feel it, they can taste it, they understand it, And now you're seeing the opposite. You're seeing taxes that are going to be going up. Actually, Bernie Sanders, he wants to take the tax rate up to 35% from 28%. Right now, I think it's 21. Biden wants to bring it to 28. Bernie Sanders is saying, let's bring this to 35. You really think they're going to stop there? Absolutely not. What else did Trump do? Well, he convinced the Supreme Court to strip the bankers and their employees of diplomatic immunity. Why would he do that? So this article is written back in February 27th of 2019 from the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. And it says World Bank's legal immunity stripped, opening door for lawsuits. The U.S. Supreme Court ruling could also open up other American-based international organizations to lawsuits over financing overseas development. Why would Trump do this? Because he's going after the private Western Central Bank. He's going after the bankers. That's why. And we can see that there are certain individuals that are getting caught up in this. And remember, there's not just one private Western Central Bank. There's the Fed, there's the ECB, there's the IMF, there's the Biz, all the way up to the Rothschilds. And a former IMF chief, already serving time for misuse of funds, is facing 70 years in jail for new crimes including money laundering and tax fraud. Doesn't Trump have some type of executive order that includes this? Absolutely. Trump, the Patriots, they're going after the deep state, the private Western Central Bank, all of it, the entire kit and caboodle. He's going after all of it. And what else do we see happening here? Remember, there's a battle going on between the private Western Central Bank, where they're trying to push fiat currency, their new fiat currency. Yes, they might call it digital currency, but it's a centralized system. And the Patriots, they're looking to move the people or transition them out of a private Western Central Bank and into a people system. What is a people system? It's a system that's decentralized. It's not controlled by a private Western Central Bank. It's a system where the governments around the world don't have to borrow currency. It's a system where you're not taxed on the currency. And what do we see happening here? Well, we see Bitcoin continually moving up. And yes, the private Western Central Bank, they're going to try to push it down. We see gold, silver, precious metals also moving up at the same time. This is the people's currency. The fiat currency is the private Western Central Bank currency. That is the Federal Reserve note. If you look at your bill, your dollar bill, it says on top Federal Reserve note. Same thing with all the other countries. They're using a private Western Central Bank note. They're not using a decentralized currency. It's all part of the same exact system. Yes, it might look like there's different currencies in different areas, but it's all controlled by the same people. And they want total control. They're tired of having all these different currencies, and what they want to do is they want to have one currency that they control, that they loan to governments around the world. Actually, they don't even want governments in control. They want to be in control of the governments. And these will be non-elected leaders. And this is the battle that we see right now. We have the private Western Central Bank pushing their new fiat system, and then we have the people's economy. Bitcoin, gold, and silver. I know a lot of people like to put them up against each other, but I think they complement each other. I think this is about building confidence, having a store of wealth, either in gold and silver, actually having governments keep gold for confidence, because a lot of people don't know what cryptocurrency is, and they feel more comfortable with gold and silver knowing that there's a backstop, and using crypto for everyday exchanges, like getting paid, buying merchandise. And I do believe that this is going to happen. And the people, like I've said many times before, they're going to decide what system they would like to use. And how are they going to make this decision? The only way to make a decision is to show people the truth. You need transparency. You need to show them the difference. How do you show people the difference between a private Western Central Bank system and a people system that is not controlled by the private Western Central Bank? You show them the truth about the private Western Central Bank. And how do you do that? Well, you introduce a new currency. You introduce something that retains its value. You introduce something that the private Western Central Bank cannot control. Yes, they'll use information warfare. Yes, they will try whatever they possibly can to push it down. But you need to introduce something that they cannot control. It's not centralized. Like gold and silver, they didn't manipulate the production. They didn't manipulate the gold itself. What they did was they used the paper market, which they created over time, to control the price of gold, even though it has no bearing on the physical gold market. Cryptocurrency, they're having a little bit more of a problem here. And I do believe gold and silver, they're going to follow cryptocurrency as time goes on. But when people see the difference and people see, wow, there is a very big difference between the two, people will start to make their decision. And we're going to see this as time goes on. And if you notice, every time bad news comes out with cryptocurrency, where the bankers are out there trying to say that, criminals use it, it's not a store of wealth, it's not a currency, yes, the price goes down. What happens soon after? Well, that news disappears and the price goes back up. Actually, it's not the price. It's actually the devaluation of the dollar, the Federal Reserve note. And gold is being held in place by the paper market. If you got rid of the paper market right now and just dealt in physical, gold would not be $1,700, $1,800. Gold would be $35,000 an ounce. And this is how you show the people. We're at the beginning stages now. The people are going to see a lot more, and they will make their decision. And it won't be the private Western Central Bank. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.